Have you ever wanted to be a proud American? Ever had a desire to serve the greatest nation on earth? Need a manual on how to properly use a firearm? Then look no further than Ghost Recon Future Soldier. Remember the good old days when Ubisoft actually made good games?
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
When they poured their hearts, minds, and souls into projects that were seen as a love letter to the most oppressed class of them all, gamers. One of those projects came out almost 11 years ago when Tom Clancy made a seal of approval to Ubisoft for his top-notch writing skills.
Это движение возглавляют воры и кровопийцы.
Time to take your schizophrenia pills, Mr. Musk.
Я не намерен подчиниться им. Я буду бороться вместе с вами.
Why does this particular title stands out in a horde of other Ghost Recon games? First of all, it has circles around guns, which indicates that the guns our fellas are using are from the future, okay? You can't top that shit. It is also the only one that I played in the franchise, but for a game that came out in 2012, it sure does hold up pretty well. In conjunction with the fact that this is my list of games, you can safely assume that I'm not biased at all. What's the story of this game, you ask? You play a guy which kills a guy who killed guys that you guy, while killing guys with other new guys which are totally guy.
What's the word, Captain?
And there's Russians, which are bad guys. It seems that in early 2000s there was a convention of game developers from around the globe which unanimously agreed that all Russians are abominable and would make great antagonists. At one point, someone took into consideration that maybe Chinese could be bad guys in upcoming titles, but that proposal was quickly revoked by unknown reason. Ghost Recon Future Soldier is a commendable single player game, but even better if you have friends to play it with. Back in 2014, when I got my first copy of the game, my friends and I tried playing it online, but soon realized that Ubisoft had other plans. So we settled for a LAN party in a local PC gaming cafe. And Lord behold, did that game click for us. Entire campaign can be played in co-op mode with up to 3 friends. Fluidity of combat was astonishing. So let's dive into gameplay elements. Game as it stands can be classified as a tactical third-person shooter, even though the word tactical here is loosely constituted. By saying loosely, I mean there are certain parts in every mission where you and the boys need to take a knee and consider your next approach. If you have 3 friends who have the necessary motorics to do basic tasks such as clicking and that's about it, then you are in luck, because all those sneaky parts in every mission need to be executed properly, else you will be greeted by an endgame screen. And on Elite difficulty, you will be seeing that screen a lot. This is not one of those games where if the sneaky breaky approach does not work, it means you can go with more persuasive measures. The execution is pretty simple, taking into account that UI tells you where everything and everyone is. Just mark your target for your team to see and wait for everyone else to do the same. And do not worry about not being able to see the enemy. On every mission, your company of battle-hardened veteran soldiers is strong, capable, enduring, and using wall hacks. Yes, even the most deprived enemy Coomer can be brave, knowing that he can see the skulls of his enemies from 20 meters away while having translucent army equipment that makes him almost invisible to the naked eye. This brings me to another layer of this great game, invisibility. While crouching and proning, every team member is cloaked like a predator, but running, walking, or shooting breaks it. As a result of this, 80% of your playtime will be spent on arthritis teases in knee sections. Your team are surreptitious little bastards, but that does not mean they are not capable of dishing out some major damage when it's called for. The Armory of Future Soldier offers a great variety of guns, gadgets, and other Geneva Convention legal methods of engaging. Every gun can be equipped with different attachments befitting your playstyle, and all those guns can be tested out in a practice area. Some guns are locked behind challenges for masochists who like to die a lot during missions. While there are a fair amount of guns in this game, all can agree that shotguns are just great pieces of shit, considering the fact that they can't have a silencer attached to them. They can be skipped entirely throughout the game. At the same time, there is a clear distinction between LMGs, SMGs, assault rifles, and snipers, but the guns themselves have no major differences when it comes to engagement and combat. Let me clarify. The entire game can be finished with a single silenced assault rifle. When you are in stealth mode and picking up your targets one by one, group by group, every single gun you use, no matter the damage, has built in critical hit in them. I tested this out by shooting a guy in the foot with the lowest power level damage gun in the game. In those situations, your bullet rolls a perfect 20 and goes. In contrast to this, only when you're actively fighting the enemy does the stats of the gun mean something and the enemies do not die from a slap in the face, but even then the difference is trivial. Our soldiers during this great story visit many common JRPG locations. Many missions unfortunately play out the same, excluding some where you are controlling Wall E on steroids and playing Call of Duty. This game hates helicopters, by the way, as some missions usually end by giving a big load of lead into its engines. There are many nice touches added for immersion too. At any given point when you're stalking your foes, callouts by homies can be heard.
Hostile. Looks like a grunt. On the roof. Doing what? Patrolling.
I've got eyes on two more. In that building. Hostiles 3 o'clock. Two, both riflemen.
Doing what?
Standing around talking. 12 o'clock. One has got an assault rifle.
Got eyes on another one. Dead ahead. There's another one. In the tower.
Two hostiles, both with light machine guns. 12 o'clock.
I also like the effect when you are sprinting, the zoom in camera obstructing your peripheral vision while getting dirt in the corners of your screen gives you a sense of urgency and realism. You know how in many third person shooters, while your cover is getting absolutely destroyed, your guy just pops over and not caring about anything just starts to shoot with perfect aim? Not the case with this gem over here. During the enemy's suppressing fire, your bro starts to fumble and takes a lower profile like the little bitch he is. And good luck trying to shoot while a hail of bullets is pointed at you thanks to super reduced accuracy. Assuming that you are in possession of a big caliber, then you can penetrate most surfaces like plywood and thin metal, so you can reach the so called G spot. That's right, gray matter of a seditionist. Pay attention to how you slowly peek around the corner when crouching in cover. It is a nice detail missing from many modern third person shooters. Since you are playing with wall hacks, there is this one mission where your whole equipment goes haywire and phantom enemies start popping up on your radar. In that situation, you had to rely on good old regular vision. I thought this was a cool addition, but they implemented it in only one mission. With that handicap looming over your brain cells, really kept you on your toes. Concerning sound, I have nothing special to add except a few original soundtracks, such as Nemesis. It sure does add to the moment when you're surrounded by other Russian ghosts. And it slaps pretty hard. It is a dating game where you must convince your girlfriend how great American pastime actually is. It also has celebrity cameos of some famous African warlords, such as Oguto Mebike. He will be missed. Even Harambe made an appearance. Wait, Harambe succumbed to one woman's negligence over her own child in 2016, and this game came out in 2012? Is Ubisoft hiding something? Was this an all cover up by the Lizard Man? Speak, goddammit! Was he about to spill his bananas on how shitty your games are going to become? Did Harambe die because life is pointless and entropy is unavoidable and the universe is filled with callous and casual destruction? I have encountered a few bugs throughout the game, but one was definitely noticeable when the game froze, but not entirely, as you can see from this footage here. The game also has a tendency to mask loading screens while getting into a new area. Couldn't have fooled me, cause FPS drops harder than Kanye's bank account. Treat yourself to this uncut gem of a game. It sure does barely squeezed into my top 100 list. If you are a true Chad, you will acknowledge my list to be superior. If not, well,
Too bad you'll never be rad.
Ghost Recon Future Soldier. Go and legally obtain it. It's stupendous. You can be a witness to that in every corner you seek, every gun you shoot, and every democracy you instill. I love you all. Sleep tight, kings and queens.